Hello, my name is Paul-Beckett, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about being. Now, that might seem like really general, do you know what I mean? Like being, we're all being something. And I'm sorry if some of this overlaps with kind of stuff that's already out there because you know how much I hate to do that. But it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. So, being, like, what am I being? Uh, I know that I am not this body. So you are not that body either. I don't care what you believe, you're not. So what is the body? It's like a vehicle, isn't it? It's a vehicle. It's senseless in itself. It's a vehicle that you are using. So what is using the body? Is it the personality? Well, my personality was built up because of the parents that I happen to have, because of the place where I happen to be born, because of my race, because of my gender, because of the sum of my experiences, because of others' expectations of me. That built up the personality of Paul. If any of those variables were different, that personality would be different. If I was from a different country, if I had different parents, if I had different experiences, the personality of Paul would be completely different. So, how solid a gauge is this personality? It can't be you. If it's so changeable, if the slightest little factor could completely change that personality, how can it be what you are? It's not. It's just the character. So you are not the character, you're not the personality. Okay. Are you your emotions? Well, if you were your emotions when you were happy, I am happy. If you were happiness, the minute happiness left, you would be gone. I am sad. The minute sadness left, you would be gone. You are not your emotions. Okay, so are you your thoughts? Are you your thoughts? Thoughts pass by. We jump on the bandwagon of some of them. We completely ignore others, and they change. They change all the time. So how can you be your thoughts? Okay, I know for most of you listening to this seems quite obvious, but bear with me. I'm going somewhere with it. You are not your thoughts. Okay, so if you are not any of these things, ask us the question: what am I? I need to be more than all of these things. All of these things that I can sense, all of these things that I've got a memory of, all of these things that I can touch, taste, smell, see. You can't be any of that. Okay? So obviously it's a spiritual channel. You are spirit. You are a perfect expression of the one infinite creator. Okay? And I think probably most of you are listening to this going, yeah, duh, we know this. Okay, and I'm glad you do know it. But even in my state of being now where I know my true nature, there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever. Why do I still find myself being a certain way? So by that, I'll tell you what got it into my head. Um, Obviously we live in a strange world, an upside down world. Kind of all the values of the world are exactly diametrically opposite to kind of where they should be. Um, we live in an era of celebrity. We've put people on pedestals and decided that they are somehow better than, greater than, worth more than. And the strange thing is, we've done that with spiritual people as well, because the human condition is always to look on the outside. On the outside, there's always something to be found on the outside. So somebody pops up with a spiritual perspective, it's popular, maybe they look the part, all of this. Wow, they're so spiritual. Da, 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 da. That's how you be spiritual. And so that had me thinking, is there a way to be spiritual? Because it's nonsense, really. I obviously I live in the same world as you. I watch probably some of the same videos as you. You know, you see these kind of spiritual influencers. Now, don't get me wrong; they are speaking a truth. They're speaking, a perspective of the truth, which gets people interested in this, which is all of this. But you know, in a big beautiful set, really well lit, gorgeous looking, the spiritual outfit on, the spiritual hair, the spiritual jewelry, all of this. But it kind of sells the idea that that's how you be spiritual. Does that make sense? And my thoughts with that is, does it become exclusive again? Do people look and go, oh, but I'm not all of this. I'm not wearing the tie-dye and, the all the different drippy earrings and the loads of necklaces, or I haven't got, one half of my head shaved with a long bit here or something, and I don't go and I'm not fully vegan. Do you know what I mean? I haven't got all these kind of Indian tattoos all over me. So am I not spiritual enough? And I know that that's the most basic thing. The appearance is the most basic way of it, but also a spiritual way of being. I see a lot of like kind of this guru behavior where everyone is so calm and so peaceful and blah. So does that mean that you're being spiritual? So is being spiritual being really, really calm, relaxed, and peaceful? Um, I heard a lot of people using a lot of different language, and it's almost got to the stage where it's buzzwords, like like office speak. They're using all of these trendy buzzwords that are in like kind of the spiritual vocabulary. So is that being spiritual? Well, no, no, it's not. And as much as I'm grateful for all of these people being out there doing their part to get truth out there to the masses, I'm not sitting here. I'm not trying to be like bitchy or anything here. If it comes across like that, I'm sorry. But can this idea of being a spiritual person almost make others believe that A, they're not spiritual enough, B, that they must not be a spiritual person because they don't tick all of these boxes of the spiritual wardrobe, the spiritual language, the spiritual kind of demeanor, being very calm? And it's nonsense, really, isn't it? But it's something that we all do. And I think it's something to do with this age of celebrity. We always look to someone to be an idea of how to be instead of going within and being as you naturally are. So it's something that really had me thinking. And you might say, people could grow up with, I don't know, really spiritual parents. They could be vegan. They could have all of the things. They could, never use plastic in their life. All of these things that we kind of lump in with spirituality nowadays, and still kind of be as lost on the path as somebody who had smoked their entire life, come from, I don't know, a completely non-spiritual, non-religious background, not being interested. And I can say that because the character Paul was a atheist gay addict. Okay, atheist gay addict. They are probably three big strikes if we're thinking about this spiritual kind of stereotype. Okay, it was for me. One day, without reading a spiritual book, without ever having watched a video online, without even knowing that self-realization or Kundalini awakening or anything like that existed, it happened to me. Okay? Just let that sink in for a minute. So if that happened to somebody who was so apparently out the way of this kind of lifestyle, how can it be exclusive? It's not exclusive. This is for all of us. This is for all of us. It's just a remembering of who you are, what you are. Because you're not a who, you're what. We are one. We are one. So yeah, get what you can from the books that you're reading, from the videos that you're watching. It's all there to be soaked up. It's all there to set you on a course where you can maybe understand things a little bit clearer, can see the truth a little bit clearer. But don't ever for 1 minute think that all of this is outside of you, or to achieve this, even though it's not an achievement, it's a basic remembering, takes being a certain kind of way. You don't have to be anything other than what you are. Okay, and remember, you're not the character that you're playing anyway. So being that character, don't judge yourself against that. It's made up. It's absolutely made up. Every single character has been made up. So even though some of them might have looked more in line to be spiritual, they're not. Whatever your background, whatever your experience, whatever your lifestyle, whatever anything, you might say, oh, this might not be for me because of that. Nonsense. Throw it out. Throw it out now. Because if this was for me, then this is for you. This is the reason why we've incarnated. Okay, like we're not gonna have one savior come and we're all gonna be like, oh, like I think they've tried that already and it didn't work. Okay, we are gonna wake up to the savior in us, in all of us, and realize that we are exactly the same thing. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, like I had the recent ayahuasca ceremony, so I don't know whether you've watched that video. If you haven't, maybe watch it. It's quite good. But I was shown a thing in that where it was kind of like, could you imagine like a white piece of cotton, but it's like wet. Do you know what I mean? White piece of like kind of wet cotton. And could you imagine having like an eyedropper with like dye in it and dropping the eyedropper here and dropping it there and dropping it here and dropping it over there, and then this dye spreading and spreading and spreading out. And I saw it kind of as these people who are waking up and the effect that these people who are waking up are having around them as they're radiating just with a new energy. But also, I mean, if you're telling the truth, if you're doing your best, you know, just to kind of to really model this new way of being. No one's saying you need to make a YouTube. No one's saying you need to sit everybody down and try and preach at them. Like that's certainly not what I'm doing. But you know, I am making this channel, and it's something that I feel is of service, but it's letting my energy spread out wider than I am, because I can only meet so many people, you know, I can only come into contact with so many people, and I cannot directly change another person. I can't do that. But what I can do is shine as brightly as I can. And when I do that, it gives somebody else the a different way. They go, maybe I could shine as brightly as that. Does that make sense to you? So it's so indirect. It's so indirect. It's not about like kind of buying The Power of Now 18 times and giving it to every member in your family and making them sit down and listen to it and maybe make a book club on it, and no one's interested, because at the point in their development where they are, they don't have the ears to hear it. But it's about recognizing it in you and then being that every single day. If you recognize yourself as love, show kindness, because it's amazing. It's a plot twist how it happens, but the people around you gradually come to you. They ask because they see you living a good life. Like if you'd have saw me before this and saw me after it, you wouldn't recognize me. And so my friends, my family saw this, and they think if that's possible for you, then just maybe that's possible for me. And that's enough of the change that we need to be in this world. Okay, so quite a short video today, but if you find yourself being something or feeling like you need to be something, catch yourself, check yourself there and ask yourself why. Because if you feel like you need to be, it must be a little bit that you don't feel confident in what you are. And what you are is everything. What you are is sheer perfection. Okay, so you do not need to look outside of yourself, whether that's at any you know, kind of, you know, we all look at celebrities, you know what I mean, but especially on a spiritual path, look outside of yourself at perhaps people who have self-realized, people who, God, some people use that word enlightenment, don't they? And it just makes me absolutely want to barf. But you know, don't be looking at these people and think, oh, there's something special. This isn't for me. I promise you this is for you. And this is for you right now. If you give yourself permission for this to be for you right now, then this is for you right now. So have a little think about that, okay? Have a little think. You are enough. You are enough. Okay, I'm not talking about your body. I'm not talking about your personality. I'm not talking about your thoughts or your emotions. I'm talking about what you truly are. And my work right now is, if I know what I am, everybody I come into contact with, I hold in my mind that they are the same thing. Because in my mind, that frees them from the body, that frees them from the personality, that frees them from all the chains that they've put in. Even if quietly to myself, I meet people and I think, you are perfect. You are perfect. Wake up and see it. You are perfect. Wake up and see it. And that again is a service which I'm trying to offer just as I'm living my everyday life. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting down with them and telling them, about Ramana Maharshi, or I'm not meditating with them in like a tie-dye, kaftan somewhere. But it's enough for me to know that I am perfect, and if I am, so must you be. Okay? Think about that and know that that is you. I love you, okay? Bye.